And hello one and all, and welcome to my preview and predictions video for both NXT TakeOver Toronto and Survivor Series 2016. The weekend has finally come, the two big events have arrived, and I'm very much looking forward to watching each of them on the WWE Network. But before we get to these events, of course, I got to break it down, take a look at each match, and let you know who I'm predicting to walk out of that match as the respective winner. So without further ado, here's how this video is going to go. We're going to start by looking at NXT TakeOver Toronto, and then we'll go into the Survivor Series card. But the TakeOver Toronto card, looking at it, we have 5 announced matches. Now, based on what we saw on this past week's edition of NXT, they might add another match, possibly a 6-woman tag pitting Ember Moon, Aaliyah and Liv Morgan versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce and a third partner. We might see that match. Maybe they'll just tape it for an upcoming TV episode, but that's what I was hearing. We do have 5 announced matches on this show, and just looking at them, they're very strong, solid matches. Really, the match I'm most looking forward to, and I'm predicting will be the sleeper of the night, will be the Revival versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in the 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Now these two, like I said, Styles and Cena stole the show, but they came just as close to doing it. They had a tremendous match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I just thought their chemistry gelled really well, and I was really happy to see the announcement that this is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I think this might finally be the time. As they said in the promo packages, Gargano and Ciampa said this is their last shot. So I think this might finally be the time where we are going to see Gargano and Ciampa. They're either going to walk out with the titles or somebody's turning on somebody. And I could see Ciampa being the guy to turn on Gargano. But one of the 2 scenarios happens. But I am predicting here that Gargano and Ciampa will finally knock off the Revival and become NXT Tag Team Champions. And it'll be a nice image, and it'll be a really kick-ass match. This match, I have high expectations for, and I just look forward to these guys going out there and doing their thing. The Revival, one of the best tag teams in WWE, and Gargano and Ciampa are also up there as well. Really love what they've done as a team over the past number of months. So yeah, I am picking Gargano and Ciampa to walk out with the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals have culminated. It's been an enjoyable tournament. Some highs, some lows, some surprises, shocks. That's always good. But now it has come down to these final 2 teams. And we have, taking on the Authors of Pain, is TM61. And I like the fact that, keeping with tradition, Paul Ellering will be suspended above the ring inside a cage. So that way he can play no type of shenanigans, interference within this match. I think it'll be a good match. The Authors of Pain are still undefeated, but might they possibly, have TM61 go over with an upset win? I could see that happening as well. That's the thing I like about NXT. Is for the most part, the outcomes, you really don't know what's going to happen, but up until this point, looking at how they've built up the Authors of Pain, how they've just leveled competition round after round after round, I'm going to predict that the Authors of Pain are going to walk out as victorious in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and it'll further cement their role here on NXT, build upon the accolades that they will eventually accumulate. It starts with this, probably get the NXT Tag Team Championships, and then just go on a monster run from there. I like how they have built them up to this point, and so I think that build further continues with them winning the Classic. We have Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger. Should be a good singles match. I could probably see this match opening the show. 2 hometown Canadian boys. They're going to get a great deal of love in Canada. It's going to be glorious, folks. It's going to be very glorious indeed. But I'm looking forward to this match. The winner of this match, though, I got to go with Bobby Roode. He, just to me, I love Ty, and maybe Ty could eke out a win. But I just see this match going in Bobby Roode's favor, further building on his momentum and possibly, maybe setting a future showdown, for down the line at the next TakeOver event. I could possibly see him challenging Nakamura for the title. I thought they might do that here, but they didn't, and that's okay. I still think this is a a good match. I've enjoyed the few that they've had so far. But I'm predicting Bobby Roode walks out with the win here. We then have our two main singles championship matches. We have Asuka facing Mickie James for her NXT Women's Championship. This is going to be a really good match. But there's no doubt here that Asuka retains her Women's Championship. But that's not the point. The point is we're going to see Mickie James make her long-awaited return to WWE. She's going to get a great reaction from the crowd. She'll have a great match with Asuka. I know they will. And I just look forward to sitting back, watching, and enjoying this match. Always a huge Mickie James fan. I would love to see her make a return to the main roster after this match at NXT TakeOver Toronto, so we'll have to see. But I can fairly certainly guarantee that Asuka's going to continue on her record reign as NXT Women's Champion and remain undefeated on NXT. And then we have our main event. I'm a little disappointed that it's only a singles match, but I know it'll be a really good singles match between Shinsuke Nakamura defending his NXT Championship versus Samoa Joe. Now, outcome-wise, if Joe was just strictly staying on NXT longer, I'd love to see him get the belt back. I feel like Joe has been killing it, and he is one of, if not the best heels in WWE. Meanwhile, I know his time on NXT is coming to an end, which is why I do not really see him regaining that championship. Excuse me. I see Nakamura going on a long reign as NXT champion, which is fine by me. I love Nakamura, huge fan of him as well. But I'm fairly certainly safe to predict that Nakamura will retain his championship, and then we will see Joe debut sometime in the near future on whichever show on the main roster. So, and that is it. That is our match card for NXT TakeOver Toronto. I think it's going to be a really solid show. These TakeOver shows have yet to disappoint me, and in most cases, they generally outdo the main roster show the night after. So will that be the case again? I don't know. Survivor Series looks like a solid card, but NXT, they always bring their A game when it comes to these TakeOver shows. So I can't wait to see what the guys and girls have to offer, and it should be a good show. Now we're going to transition here, folks, into my Survivor Series preview and predictions. So we have 6 announced matches on the Survivor Series card, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. We have The Miz defending his newly won Intercontinental Championship versus Sami Zayn. Stipulation is, if Sami Zayn wins, the title will transfer to Raw. And I'm going to lump in the Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto because these two, obviously, they tie together more so than one would think. Because in the Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto match, it is the Cruiserweight Championship on the line, but if Kalisto wins the title, the Cruiserweight division will transfer to SmackDown. Now, the scenario that I'm predicting will play out. I could predict Sami Zayn would beat The Miz, seeing as how we originally thought it was going to be Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz, or Sami Zayn. Maybe they didn't want to do face versus face, and maybe their idea thinking, well, if Sami Zayn beats The Miz, he's taking it from a heel, no harm done there, and the title moves to Raw. And if the title moves to Raw, which I'm predicting, then that means that the Cruiserweights have to flip to SmackDown, which would make sense. There's 205 Live, and, now there is a vacancy in, a title on that show. So if IC title goes to Raw, Cruiserweights come to SmackDown. So I'm predicting that Kalisto will beat the Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight title, moving the entire Cruiserweight division to where it needs to be on SmackDown, because right now the Cruiserweights are just floundering on Raw. Not their fault. That's just the way they've been presented and booked and have their matches toned down. So hopefully on SmackDown we could, and the 205 Live show, we could see more of what we saw on the Cruiserweight Classic and less of what we've been getting the past number of months on Raw. So let's get into the 3 big traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. Start with the tag team match. It is Team Raw, which is composed of The New Day, Sheamus and Cesaro, Anderson and Gallows, Enzo Amore and Big Cass, and the Shining Stars versus Team SmackDown, composed of Slater and Rhino, the Hype Bros, American Alpha, the Usos, and Breezango. I think this match is SmackDown's for the taking. I think American Alpha are going to have a very big night and a good showing here. And I could see them, being the ones to be victorious for Team SmackDown. But, in this tag team, it's going to be a clusterfuck. That's my worry. I mean, what I think they're going to do is if one guy is eliminated in the ring, that means the entire team is eliminated. So that way, it keeps a somewhat fast pace, and you don't have to pin every single person in this match, because there are a lot of bodies in this match. But this is the one where I'm worried, could get a little clusterfucky and just, too hard to follow all the action with all of those guys out there. So this one's going to have to, be careful to book, the right way, and just to keep our interest and to keep things at a good pace, but not too complicated with all of the individuals on the outside. But predicting SmackDown goes over in this match. Now, we have the women's traditional Survivor Series match, which I'm looking forward to. There's a ton of great talent in this match. Team Raw is composed of Charlotte, Bayley, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and Sasha Banks. And Team SmackDown has Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi, with Natalya as the team captain. Now, while I like both teams, only one can win, obviously. And I'm predicting that Team Raw will somehow find a way to beat Team SmackDown. I could either see them having, Bayley being the underdog, having her find a way to be the one to get the final elimination. Or you could have this be a coming out party, really, for Nia Jax, and just have her go on a tear over Team SmackDown, and that would be a good way to put over and help establish Nia Jax. So I could see one of those two scenarios taking place, but I am more than likely, just looking at it, you have Nikki and Carmella, they're having their ongoing issues, Becky and Alexa Bliss. There's a lot more, to me, animosity. I mean, yeah, you have Charlotte and Sasha Banks, who don't see eye to eye, but I don't know, I just see a lot more, animosity and tension being played up on the SmackDown side of things, and I could definitely see that being a factor going into this and playing out during the elimination match. So that is my prediction for who will walk out the winners of that match. And then we finally have Team Raw, the males, versus Team SmackDown. Team Raw is composed of Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins versus Team SmackDown. AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon, with James Ellsworth as the mascot. Now, originally, before we got through SmackDown 900, I thought for sure SmackDown would walk out the victors. However, the seed that was planted and made me change my prediction of mind was the fact that The Undertaker said there will be pretty much hell to pay if SmackDown does not walk out victorious, and particularly to the person that might cost them. Styles, Undertaker. I think this is how we're going to get there. Styles will do something that costs him and his team and SmackDown in general to lose to Raw. Like I said, I predict SmackDown will win the tag teams, Raw will win the females, so we're tied 1-1. Comes down to this match. And I could see Styles doing something that tilts the favor for Raw, and Raw walks out with the win. And as a result, Undertaker takes out his wrath, his fury, and this sets up a championship match at the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles versus The Undertaker. And I think that's how we get there, folks. So, without Taker's warning, I predicted SmackDown would win. But now that that seed has been planted, I think we will see SmackDown lose, which I would like to see them win, but if this means we're going with Styles Taker, I'll take it. But yeah, I'm now predicting that Raw will beat SmackDown in the male elimination Survivor Series match. And should be a good match. There's a ton of talent in here. The only gripe I have is there really wasn't more put on the line for all three of these matches. I wish there was, the winning brand one, they get two superstars, or, I don't know, maybe, the number, I don't know what you could come up with, but, that's what I would have liked to have seen. But we obviously didn't get that, so I feel that somewhat hurts these matches. So it's just for brand supremacy and really nothing more. I wanted a little bit more to be added to these matches, but hey, it is what it is. And then finally we have what I'm assuming it's either going to be the guys, the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown going on last, or Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg. I don't really know what to expect from this match. I think it could either be good, or I don't think we'd get what we got at WrestleMania 20, but we could be in for maybe, not the best of matches. But I'm really looking forward to this match. This is the first time for me as a fan I've ever seen Goldberg step into the ring and wrestle. I obviously didn't watch growing up in the 90s, the Monday Night Wars, but I've gone back to see what Goldberg was able to do, his unbelievable win streak. I know he's probably going to get booed pretty heavily in Toronto for the fact that he ended Bret Hart's career there, so he's obviously not the most liked. I think Lesnar will get the better of reactions of the two. But I just want these two guys to go out there for 10, maybe 12 minutes max. Go out there and beat the holy, ever-loving shit out of one another. And hopefully Goldberg can, still hold up and go in the ring. There is some concern that he might have a shoulder injury coming out of that segment on Raw. But if everything goes well, I just want these two to go out there, have the match that they should have had at WrestleMania 20. That's all that I want to see. So hopefully we can get that. Now, my prediction for the winner of this match, unless Goldberg is sticking around, and even then, I'm predicting that Brock's going to walk out the winner. I'm predicting Brock Lesnar will beat Goldberg because Brock still remains undefeated in one-on-one contests. He has not been pinned. So, is Goldberg the guy to do it? Probably not. You want somebody young that you can, build up and take, everything that Brock has done since defeating The Undertaker, and then, somebody pins him, boom, instant credibility. So I'd rather see that go to a young guy, rather, no disrespect to Goldberg, but, just somebody that you can build around. But, I'm predicting Lesnar will walk out the victor. So that is it for my preview and predictions for Survivor Series and NXT TakeOver Toronto. Guys, remember to leave your comments down below in the comment section for what you think will happen this Saturday and Sunday. And be sure to click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. I will be back up here for my live reviews for both shows after TakeOver Toronto and Survivor Series respectively, so be on the lookout for that. And until then, guys, I will see you in my next video. So until then, take care and have a good day.